Welcome, and thank you for attending the first day of Unpacked. We are so happy to have you here with us to talk about a very important initiative for Sustainable Packaging Program. We are proud to announce the Pet Sustainability Coalition Packaging Pledge. This initiative is over a year in the making and has been built in collaboration with dozens of industry leaders. The program includes a robust set of tools dedicated to encouraging pet companies to move packaging to 100% recyclable, refillable, or compostable packaging by 2025. We would now like to invite you all to answer a poll that is on your screen. Does your company have a formal sustainable packaging goal in place? Yes, and we're making progress. Yes, and we could use some help. No, but we're interested in making one. No, I don't know. No, and I don't know. So while you all are responding to the poll, I want to introduce myself. I am John Spearman, the Pet Sustainability Coalition's Sustainable Project Manager and one of the newest members of our expanding team. I joined this amazing team about 3 months ago, and I'm thrilled to support our mission to advance business through profitable environmental and social practices. As we near the end of this wonderful first day, I'm happy to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has presented today. Our keynote speaker from Grove Collective, Danielle Jesnecki, from Closed Loop, Paula Liu, from Triac, Allison Younts, from BPI, Rhodes Yesman, and from the PSC team, Melissa Bauer and Rachel Sears. Now we're just gonna take a quick look at the poll, and it looks like 53% said yes, and we're making progress. So glad to hear that right there. Coming in, yes, and we could use some help at 11%. No, but we're interested in making one, 21%, and no, 16%. Thankfully, nobody said, I don't know yet. All right. Well, we want to know what the packaging pledge is built to encourage, or we want you to know that the packaging pledge is built to encourage companies to make commitments and support them on their journey to increase sustainability. Now, I'd like to introduce you to Melissa Bauer. She's PSC's Director of Strategic Initiatives and Sustainability Programs. Melissa?
Thank you, John, and thank you all for joining us for this year's Unpacked Packaging Soiree. This year, I am so excited that our event, we are announcing a program over a year in the making, the Pet Sustainability Coalition's Packaging Pledge. So, I've been honestly thinking about what to say at this event for weeks, and pretty much every time I think about it, I get choked up and emotional. So I hope that you'll forgive me if for a few minutes I just kind of speak from the heart. So 1 year ago, on this very stage, at this very event, we were celebrating meeting our collections goal for the Flex Forward pilot. The team and I were having a glass of champagne while waxing nostalgic on all the trials and tribulations and blood, sweat, and tears that hundreds of hours of work from dozens of people had taken to get us that point. It was an amazing moment. And we took turns going around and talking about what we would do with magic wands if we were to try and tackle the state of packaging in the pet industry. Surely, if we had over 450 people from over hundreds of different companies willing to show up and talk about sustainable packaging for days, then maybe this was the moment that we could bring the industry together to really change. It then became my turn with the magic wand, and I said I would encourage every pet company I could to make a 2025 packaging commitment, and then we'd build them everything we possibly could to help them get there. I am so profoundly grateful and want to thank sincerely the commitment of Caitlin Dudash, our executive director and co-founder, and our amazing board of directors, that about 30 seconds after it came out of my mouth, let's go for it, came to be. But ideas aren't enough to shape an industry. Among other things, you need good luck and good timing. However, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those unique times when pieces fall together to make remarkable things happen. Recyclable, refillable, and compostable packaging options are available right now and ready to match their conventional alternatives. The right legislative pieces, as you've been hearing about all day, are being pushed and pulled around the world, and an army of supporters, both within and outside the pet industry, are standing guide to help guide, innovate, and support us. As David Yusolka, one of our board members, has been putting it the last few weeks, this, my friends, is a tombstone moment. We have the opportunity to create a shared definition of sustainable packaging in the pet industry. Together, we have the opportunity to push environmentally and socially responsible options to scale for the very first time. We have the opportunity to not only collect and recycle the packaging on the market today, but to work together to ensure that all of the hundreds of millions of tons of packaging being produced around the world for all of our family members, no matter how many legs they have, are improving the industry for pets, people, and planet. I hope that you will join us. I hope that you will, together with us, will insist that this is possible and urgent. And I hope you'll join the PSC on the Pet Sustainability Coalition's packaging pledge. Thank you so much for attending tonight, and I can't wait for you to hear all about it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Melissa. And now I'd like to introduce two of the founding donors to the Packaging Pledge. Steffi Volo is the Chief Marketing Officer for Earth Animal and Chairwoman of PSC Advisory Board, and Adam Kay, the Sales and Technical Director at Tyler Packaging. Steffi Volo's start in the pet industry was over 20 years ago as the leader of Planet Dog, and spent those years dedicated to growing the company based on their core values and creating meaningful change for pets, her people, communities, and the planet. Her current path for inspiration is at Earth Animal as the Chief Marketing Officer, where she is responsible for the strategic plan, management, and implementation of all marketing and communication efforts while maintaining Earth Animal's brand authenticity and sustainability promise. She was a founding member and is currently the interim chairwoman of the Pet Sustainability Coalition and is known for her drive for purpose, leadership, and collaboration in the sustainability movement in the pet industry. Steffi lives in North Conway, New Hampshire with her husband, Jeff, son, Wade, and their yellow lab, Fulsey. Good afternoon, Steffi, and thank you for joining us.
Hi, John.
Is there anything
Thank
you
you
would
for
like to
having
say
me.
on behalf of PSC?
Sure. I'm hearing a little bit of a background noise and echoing. I don't know if you guys are as well, but yeah. Well, before I even get into that, I just, as a member of this community and chairwoman of the PSC, I just really want to celebrate Melissa and Rachel, you, Caitlin, Anne, Amy, Julia, everybody, and all the speakers on such an amazing first day today. Really, such great content and information, and clearly there's just excitement and momentum about this incredibly large situation that we have around sustainable packaging, and the future is bright, and I'm really excited to talk about that. So yes, on behalf of myself and of PSC, I'm truly so proud to be launching the PSC Packaging Pledge. As many of you know, and as Melissa just said, this idea was generated right around this time at Unpacked last year, and the PSCs, and really particularly Melissa's work with the U.S. Plastics Pact and all the information that she has learned around this legislation that's passed, really allowed her to take that information and that knowledge to help lead and drive this incredible solution and unite the industry in making a huge difference toward a better future for pets, people, and the planet. And the time is now, and it's really, really exciting.
Would you mind telling us a little bit about Earth Animal and what you've been doing?
Yeah, sure. At Earth Animal, our mission is to preserve and enhance quality of life for animals, people, and the earth. So sustainability is really part of who we are. It's in our DNA, and we honor that mission, that commitment to the mission and sustainability through our own 1% promise that we developed. And this means that we use 1% of our annual net sales to pioneer a more sustainable future for all of us. And this can mean a lot of different things. This can mean investing in a more sustainable future for our industry. It can mean funding initiatives that improve sustainability of our internal operations. It also can mean donating to efforts helping to help animals, people, and the earth. And so in 2022, our biggest areas of focus are around reducing our environmental impact and really hopefully inspiring the industry to do the same. That's through this pledge, Flex Forward expansion, plastic neutrality, and reducing our dependency on animal industrial agriculture. In addition, we want to be the advocate voice for all Earth's animals, and that, the biggest thing that we have going right now is creating and developing an animal welfare framework to ensure all animals in our lives, either companion animals or those that we do use in our products, live a good life during their time with us. And then meeting our goals around governance to ensure that we're using a sustainability lens to create internal business practices that include transparency and traceability in all we do, and processes for constant improvement in the areas of sustainable business practices.
Wonderful. Would you mind speaking to us just a little bit about the importance of packaging to Earth Animal and the pet industry?
Yeah, sure. So obviously, it's one of our biggest initiatives. It's one of the biggest initiatives that PSC is tackling in our industry as well. So it's really important to us, and as we know, it's incredibly important to our industry, given our overall industry environmental impact. Remember, 300 million pounds of pet food and treats packaging ends up in our landfills every year. So we need to work on changing that. And so therefore, we're committed at Earth Animal to exploring solutions, helping to be part of that development of solutions process. So programs like Flex Forward are really important today, and they're finding collections and recycling solutions for packaging on the market is incredibly important and a very needed step. But it's clear it's just not enough. So there's some other things, right? Like working with Repurpose Global on plastic neutrality, and that's another incredible step. But even a bigger commitment that I'm hoping all of you will get really excited about and join us on is, this PSC packaging pledge to really help drive our industry forward in using more sustainable packaging materials, right? Recyclable, refillable, or compostable solutions.
Thank you very much, Steffi. So glad that you could join us.
My pleasure. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
This packaging pledge is important too and will require the support of the entire industry. Steffi has gracefully represented the brand side of the industry, and now we will hear from Tyler Packaging, who represents the supplier side. The initiative will take brands and packaging suppliers working together. As I mentioned earlier, Adam Kay is from Tyler Packaging. He joined Tyler in 2001 in the sales department, and with over 20 years experience of flexible packaging within the pet food industry. He has spent his career developing their product range and driving sustainability within the business. In 2015 and 2016, Adam, along with his colleague Mark Profit, completed a MBO of the business from the original founder, Howard Woolley. Tyler celebrates 40 years of business in 2022, and the company continues to drive innovation in their product range in line with Tyler's sustainability targets, supporting customers on their journey of sustainability. Adam lives in Hampshire, UK, with his wife and 2 daughters and their 2 Cottonwood Terriers, I think I said that right, which are dogs, Teddy and Bo. Hello again, Adam. Oh, I think you might be muted, Adam.
That'll be it. Sorry. Hello.
Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about Tyler Packaging?
Yeah, thank you. Tyler are a privately owned UK company and supplier of flexible packaging for pet food, human food, lawn and garden. We're proud to be a PSC accredited supplier. We have 2 main sustainable solutions, which are compostable and recyclable monomaterials, available in films and pre-made bags. Both ranges are independently certified. Predominantly, we supply into Europe, but we're seeing growth in North America. As you said, we're celebrating 40 years in business this year, and we look forward to the next 40 years. 70% of our business is within pet food, so we have a pretty good understanding of the needs of brands, manufacturers, co-manufacturers. Currently, 31% of our customer portfolio is using sustainable packaging, And we have no doubt this figure will dramatically increase over the next couple of years based on the market trends that we're seeing. We believe that the Pet Sustainability Coalition's packaging pledge is so important, and that's why we're proud to be part of it.
How important is it to you to understand, or how is important, in your opinion, is it to understand the impact of packaging within the pet food industry?
It's a great question. Whether we have enough time to cover all the points, I don't know. I believe that the pet food industry has the ability to drive change, and the work of PSC shows brands and suppliers that it is possible and how they can start the process, no matter how big or how small. Pet food packaging is not easy due to the packs required. They range from low pack weights such as treats up to 40-pound bags. The demands of the packaging is vast: shipping, drop testing, high barrier, functionality, resealables, handles, obviously whilst remaining visually striking. Compostables within pet food, in my opinion, are limited. At Tyler, we can't get above a 6-pound bag, so really it's suited more towards the treats. Typically, packaging represents between 2 and 20% of the CO2 emissions of a bag of dog food, depending on the pack weight. Everyone knows the vast majority of CO2 emissions are coming through the protein source used, but for consumers, packaging is a main area of focus. Consumer education is absolutely vital in helping us all drive change. Plastic is not bad. In order to drive a circular economy, we need to design packaging to be future raw materials, and monomaterial recyclable packaging can achieve this. Approximately, 70% of circulation is recycled. We need to have the same focus and aspirations for plastics. This is why Tyler in 2020 did a series of life cycle assessments in order to scientifically back our beliefs, obviously with the guidance of PSC and TREIC. Because of this work, we can now show brands the impact of their decisions and the ways to reduce their impact of their packaging by comparing different packaging structures, materials, packaging weights. This will now give them accurate CO2 reductions per pack. Optimization of packaging is also vital within the industry, and it's a relatively easy win in reducing your impact. Many brands have for years optimized packaging for cost reductions. What we're seeing in Europe is brands moving from conventional non-recyclable mixed laminates to recyclable monomaterials. But in order to achieve this, they are increasing their environmental impact as the materials are not performing the same as conventional laminates in drop tests. So they're having to make the materials thicker than the conventional materials they're currently using. Last year, we did a bit of competitor analysis and found that on average, our monomaterials were offering a 30% reduction versus tested competitors' monomaterials. So an example of that would be a 2 kg bag using 160 micron structure. We're using 120 micron structure. A 12 kg bag using a 220 micron structure. We're using 160 micron structure. To put that into context, on a 12 kg or 26 pound pack over 1 million bags, this would equate to 40 tons of plastic or 88,000 pounds of plastic. It's huge, it's massive. It then makes you question, is it more environmentally friendly to convert to recyclable monomaterials if any potential benefits are offset by increasing the amount of materials used? Does this reduce your impact? So it's absolutely crucial that using the correct material that will perform versus current mixed laminates to ensure that you can convert to recyclables and reduce your impact on the environment is absolutely key. And this is our main focus at Tyler currently. Obviously, making packaging recyclable is possible today, but getting the packaging collected, chemically recycled, food certified safe are the challenges the industry face. Industry is driving change, and why programs such as Flex Forward are just simply awesome. Today, the majority of UK retailers are using similar in-store drop-off recycling schemes. Change is no doubt coming. Infrastructure will take time. But in the UK, we have a tax coming in on the 1st of April, so only 6 weeks' time. And this tax will continue to drive change, especially within some of the restrictions of the tax. It has to contain 30% recycled content, and that's post-consumer recycled content in order to be exempt from the tax. So this is going to really push change in the industry, weight reduction, and move to recyclables. Also, I've heard EPR mentioned, so extended producers' responsibilities. This is also going to follow in the UK 12 months after the introduction of the tax, and this is going to force additional change for brands that have chosen to simply pay the tax, as converting to recyclable could cost more, so therefore it's cheaper to stay as they are. EPR will be an additional tax that penalises brands that are not only using recyclable packaging at much higher rates versus recyclable options. So I look forward to some of the presentations on EPR tomorrow, because I think it's some of them, for example, in the UK, it hasn't been finalised EPR, so the kind of legislation is moving, changing all the time. I think I've waffled on quite enough. I hope it answers your question. Happy for anybody to reach out to us, email, LinkedIn. Thank you.
Adam, for that response. That's wonderful information right there. I want to say a special thank you to Tyler Packaging and Earth Animal for their support. Between both of these companies, we're able to get more than halfway to our fundraising goal to start off this program. So thank you guys again. And now we're going to go to hear two collaborators who are excited to be a part of this new program, Takigawa and PetDine.
This is Wei Zhang with Takigawa Corporation, an accredited member and producers of the world's highest quality flexible packaging. We are so excited to see the PSC launch this initiative. As an industry, it is important for us to create momentum and take action on sustainable packaging. We all have a role to play, and Takigawa is ready to support other PSC members in reaching these goals.
Hi everyone, my name is Amelia Dunbar and I'm the Sustainability Manager for PetDine LLC. We are a contract manufacturer for pet supplements and treats. I am so excited to share with you all that we have achieved one of our sustainable packaging goals, which is to provide only recyclable packaging for our clients' products. We are thrilled about PSC's new Sustainable Packaging Initiative, which will help us not only accelerate our own sustainable packaging targets, but also lead and drive the entire pet industry. After all, everything we do is for the health of pets.
All right, we would like to say thank you to Takigawa and PetDine for their involvement in developing this packaging pledge. And now I'd like to introduce you to Rachel Sears. She's PSC Sustainable Packaging Specialist. She is going to walk us through some of the highlights of PSC's packaging pledge. Rachel?
Thank you, John. Hello again, everyone. I'm pleased to announce the Pet Sustainability Coalition's Packaging Pledge. As this program began conceptualization over a year ago, you can see just how excited we are to be announcing this program to all of you today. It truly feels like a milestone. As Steffi touched on, and our Flex Forward program points out, finding collections and recycling solutions for packaging on the market today is an extremely important step, but it's just not enough to close the loop. We need to go a step further and begin driving the industry forward to more sustainable packaging solutions from the onset, and really consider designing packaging in a way that has intended life pathways. Therefore, the main goal of the pledge is to empower the pet industry to make voluntary, public, and time-bound commitments that would improve the sustainability of their packaging. Specifically, the commitment will be to transition packaging to 100% recyclable, refillable, or compostable by 2025. Although this pledge is mainly geared towards brands, it is critical that we have engagement and cooperation from all positions within the industry, whether you are a supplier, retailer, manufacturer, or distributor. Here at PSC, we believe a collaborative approach is necessary in order to drive change. That is why the pledge is being constructed in consultation with a large number of industry experts, as you see here. We thank all of you for your involvement in the development of this program and want to acknowledge that it would not be possible without your support and definitely your expertise. While packaging ranks among the top 3 most important sustainability issues facing the pet industry today, the reality of the situation is that the majority of pet companies rely on part-time staff, inadequate tools, resources, and support to advance their packaging toward more sustainable outcomes. We understand this disconnect, and we are here to help. PSC will serve as your partner to all signatories in this journey, providing the necessary support and a robust toolkit to assist companies in obtaining their sustainable packaging goals. The initial 6 tools for support, as you see here, upon signing the pledge, will include ongoing packaging legislation updates and education, a business case data set designed to pitch to a C-level suite and engage decision makers, tools including the Recycling Partnerships Plastic IQ Assessment Tool, how to recycle labeling support, and packaging design guidelines, access to a vetted sustainable packaging marketplace housing pre-qualified suppliers that meet the Ellen MacArthur Foundation requirements, marketing tools and resources including digital badges, social media support, and customized add-ons, and also access to peer working groups to share challenges, successes, as well as provide that space for cross-collaboration within the industry, which will also provide peer accountability. I would like to point out that we met with some of our very own members to gain invaluable insight to assess the interest and feasibility of this program. So the toolkit offerings were developed in direct response to your feedback and needs of this program. Continuing on that method, signatories will have a direct feedback channel to let us know what tools are working and the elements and tools that will need to be added to the program to increase success of your packaging goals. From here, we invite you to do one of these three or all three. You can book time with our team to learn more about the pledge and how to get started. The book a meeting button is on your screen now. Next is take the pledge. Enrollment will officially open on July 1st of this summer. You can begin signing up and reach out to us in the meantime for more details on how we can be assisting you today. And finally, donate to this program. Your contributions will be supporting pioneering work which will lead the industry in sustainable packaging solutions. And just a reminder, these donations are 100% tax deductible. Thank you again so much to the founding donors of this pledge, Earth Animal and Tyler Packaging, who were integral in getting this initiative off the ground. I look forward to collaborating with you all, and together we can catalyze the necessary packaging change that is needed in this industry. And now we will hear from two more pledge supporters who are doing great work in the sustainability space.
Hi, I'm Betsy from All the Best Pet Care. We've been working with the Pet Sustainability Coalition to become a more sustainable retailer. With their guidance, we're moving our own products to recyclable plastic, and we're already making great progress. Plus, we're building partnerships in the industry to make even more positive changes.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cherish Morrison. I'm with the company MedBay. We operate stores in Oregon and Washington and are family and employee owned. I'm here today to express gratitude and congratulations to the PSC for launching the Plastics Pledge. By 2025, the world will be a better place due to your initiative. Thank you so much, PSC.
Thank you to our members and collaborators, All the Best in MudBay, for their support. In the development of the Packaging Pledge, PSC consulted many partners, and we now have an opportunity to hear directly from one of those industry experts. I'd like to introduce PSC's Executive Director and Co-founder, Caitlin Dudas, and Emily Topaldo, the Executive Director of the U.S. Plastics Pact. Emily has more than a decade of experience with plastics, recycling, and materials management. Emily brings her skills of stakeholder engagement, industry expertise, and passion for reducing climate change to the U.S. Plastics Pact. The U.S. Plastics Pact is an ambitious initiative led by the Recycling Partnership and the World Wildlife Fund to unify diverse public-private stakeholders across the plastics value chain to rethink the way we design, use, and reuse plastics to create a path toward a circular economy for plastics in the United States. Now I'd like to introduce Caitlin Dudas.
John, thanks so much for the introduction, and I hope later you're going to tell us a little bit about your bow tie, because there's a great story behind that. But Emily, welcome. We're so glad that you've joined us today and really appreciate your time and energy and what it takes to kind of bring another industry into the amazing work that you're doing at the U.S. Plastics Pact. So thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, Caitlin, and thanks to Melissa. Really, really appreciate the opportunity.
So I thought we would start with just understanding scale. So as an industry group, I think sometimes we get our blinders on, right? We don't really have a sense of, how big is this effort outside of our own industry, and what are we actually having the opportunity here to participate in? So could you give me a sense of kind of how big the U.S. Plastics Pact is? What size are your signatories, and how much of the CPG industry or other industries are you seeing active participation from?
Sure, great question. So the U.S. Plastics Pact has over 100 signatories, both corporate partners as well as a handful of different nonprofit stakeholders who really span the gamut of research institutions, academic institutions, environmental NGOs, and on the corporate side, everyone from material suppliers to retailers, sort of everybody, which is great to have all of the perspectives. And of that, the packaging that we represent in terms of what's being put onto the US market is roughly a third. So a third of the US plastics packaging out there today falls under one of our signatories, and it's roughly 5.6 million tons of material. So a lot of plastic packaging. And everyone is super committed, and we're part of this broader network, which is really great. I know I saw one of the other groups that you all are working with is the Ellen MacArthur Foundation. So we, as the US Plastics Pact, are part of their broader Plastics Pact network. So we are one of 12 plastics pacts, sort of sharing in our successes and challenges across the globe with plastic packaging and how we create a circular economy for it.
All right, well, 30% of the plastic footprint coming from your signatories. So that's a high bar to set, but we certainly need ambitious leaders like you to bring that, to set that bar. So really appreciate those insights. And I'm curious, talking about ambition, I'm curious internally how you manage kind of and balance on one side ambition and the other side feasibility. So I can imagine when you first said, hey, here's our goal by 2025, you maybe didn't know exactly if that was entirely achievable. And so how do you balance that internally? I can say we're already having those conversations and trying to figure out how to balance that. But can you share some insights on kind of what that balance looks like for you?
Sure. I think it's a constant balance both internally and externally. So folks are asking this all the time. And a couple of things come to mind. I know lots of us are procrastinators. And unless we have a goal sort of right in front of us, motivating us to kind of get off our rear ends, like we're not going to do it. So we need something to kind of light that fire or spark action. And so having a really short timeline helps to do that. I mean, we and you all as part of the pledge are looking to make what is essentially a generational change in a really short amount of time. So we need to motivate people and bring people along and start now. I mean, we should have done some of these things years ago and just didn't for a number of reasons. But now is the time to start acting and look for collaborations and assess what progress we can make. I think the most important thing is that we look to maximize the impact we can have over that short amount of time and figure out what is the trajectory to get where we want to be, and then what are those big steps we can take, and not kind of sweating the small stuff in between, but really looking at what has the biggest return on our investment.
All right. Well, thanks again for shedding some insights. I think it's so helpful for us as a movement builder to really learn from other leaders in this space so that we're not kind of rebuilding the wheel or navigating territory that seems unfamiliar, and really taking the opportunity to learn from you. So I'd also be curious to kind of learn about how you navigate internal dynamics, right? So you've got hundreds of different partners, lots of different companies, and my guess is they might have a different idea about what the best packaging is or what's going to move the needle the most. So how do you manage some of those internal dynamics with so many different stakeholders at the table to try to build, some cohesion amongst the group?
Yeah, that is another thing that is sort of a constant management piece. And I think by having the foundational pieces of your pledge, or in the case of the US Plastics Pact, we have our 4 targets, is everyone knows sort of that they're coming to this table that is set. And we have these foundational pieces that everyone who's made the commitment or made the pledge, we're all working toward these same things. So it's a good grounding piece for us. I think too, having healthy dialogue and constructive tension. We like to talk about constructive tension a lot to help us know and remind ourselves that we're working together as a group toward really aggressive goals. And sometimes that means we're not going to have 100% agreement from 100% of the stakeholders 100% of the time. And that's okay, as long as we keep our primary targets sort of in scope and we're all having those conversations and moving in the right direction.
Well, I appreciate that perspective. Sometimes I think we default to the lowest common denominator, and then sometimes the impact of our work really just gets diluted. So I appreciate the need for tension and to really kind of use that competition and diversity of perspectives as an opportunity instead of a drawback. So I'm curious if you could tell us, you set out this 2025 goal. We're not very far from it here in early 2022. How are you feeling about progress toward that goal for many of your signatories?
So we are actually releasing a baseline report in just 2 or 3 weeks in early March. So that will be reflective of 2020 data. And then after that, we'll be measuring on an annual basis toward those 4 targets that I mentioned. We could already see in our baseline where companies have started to take action in some of the areas that were focused, like eliminating some things that are challenging to the recycling or composting systems today, or making efforts to design their packaging for recyclability or refill and reuse or compostability. So I think we can start to see action. One step in the right direction is that all 100 plus signatories of the US Plastics Pact reported as part of the baseline. So we've been able to check that box in terms of transparency and accountability, and hope to continue with that good track record of everyone reporting on an annual basis about the progress that they're making. So I think we're feeling good about it. We do have a long way to go, and more to come on that in a couple weeks when we release our data. But again, a lot of it comes back to the challenges that exist to build this circular economy are not necessarily unique to any one company. And I would very much expect this to be a similar situation for you all and the companies that you work with, and alignment with the pledge is part of these collective pre-competitive actions and groups are so awesome, because some of these challenges really can't be changed by one company alone. You need that collaborative action, and sometimes it can be hard for companies. It's like admitting your own faults or something, but just put it out there, and someone else likely has a similar challenge. Someone else may have data that you're looking for and they're willing to share or want to work on a project. So the more spaces that we have for this, the better off everyone is.
Yeah, I hear that. And I think, one of the things I reflect on is that our packaging pledge is really a voluntary commitment, right? And so these are voluntary commitments that companies are making so that they can head in that direction. And there aren't, enormous legal risks that they're taking by setting equally ambitious goals and targets. I think sometimes we stumble if we recognize, hey, this is something I could be held accountable for. But again, kind of going back to that really positive tension that's required to really take the action that is needed in the time frame that is also needed. So I'm curious, last question before we move on today, but what does it look like after 2025 for the US Plastics Pact?
That's a great question that I don't think is incredibly well defined yet. Again, one thing we did do as part of our process early on is we had our 4 targets or goals set, and then we took some time as a group and developed a vision for 2025 and like that circular trajectory in which we're working. So if we do want, if we are working toward a future where 100% of plastic packaging is reusable or refillable, recyclable or compostable, then what does that mean? What needs to be true? So putting that together. So then we have kind of this picture of what we need to do, how we can start to get there, and a little bit of the planning and tangible action kind of comes into focus. So I think really beyond 2025, we will still very much be working on things. I think another thing, and this brings into play the flexible packaging piece, we know that there's sort of an easier trajectory for some of the rigid plastic packaging formats that currently exist today. If you compare that with some of the flexible formats, just because of the infrastructure that does or does not exist. and so on. So we're talking very much about, some things have a very clear path to 2025 or this circular economy vision beyond 2025. And some things have a little bit of a longer trajectory, and that's okay, as long as we are very clear about what needs to happen to get there. And then we start to line up those things that do need to happen and have the commitment behind them. So again, we're moving in that direction as we get closer to 2025.
All right. Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm going to head back to John. And John, before you go to the next thing, you have to tell us about that bow tie.
Well, so as you know, we have the PSC logo back here with all the pellets from the Recycling Flex Forward program. This wonderful bow tie here is also made of the same material. It's got about 150, 200 pellets in it too. But me and Rachel are proudly displaying these today.
Thanks, John. I love them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We now have 2 more videos from supporters who are thrilled to take part of the PSC Packaging Pledge.
Hi, this is Gordon Dumasic, the Chief Growth and Marketing Officer for Instinct Pet Food. We as a company are excited to sign up for PSC's program and today make a public-facing commitment to switch all our packaging to be 100% recyclable by 2025. And let me take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks and gratitude to Caitlin, Melissa, Anne and team at PSC for their fantastic leadership of this initiative.
I'm Deborah Yu, and I work for Stella & Chewy's, a leading pet food brand. We're so excited to see the PSC helping lead the way to bring more sustainable packaging to the pet industry. It really takes all of us coming together to help bring amazing initiatives like this to life. We're excited to be with you here at the Unpacked conference to continue making real progress on our collective sustainability journey.
Well, thank you to our supporters, Stella and Chewy and Instinct, for those videos. We are very excited that this program has the opportunity to shape an entire industry. However, we need all of your support. And now I'd like to briefly bring back Steffi and Adam to the soiree to tell us a little bit more. With us? Ah, there we go.
Hi, Tyler. Hi, John. I'm sorry. Hi, Adam. Hi, John.
Hi.
Oh. Would you like to tell us a little bit more, Steffi, about the packaging pledge?
Yeah, no, for me, I just really wanted to, invite everybody here that's participating to be my personal and our company's, partner to sign the pledge. Sign the pledge today, make a donation, and really just join this incredible movement toward a much better future for all of us. We have committed to move all of our packaging to fully recyclable packaging by 2025. And I just, PSC put so much work and effort into, like they said, talking with members, getting members' feedback about what the pledge should be all about, what types of tools they need in order to be able to be a part of this incredible movement. And the time is now, and we're ready now. And I personally invite you all to join me and Earth Animal and Tyler Packaging and Stella and Chewy's and Instinct and Mud Bay and all the best and everybody else in moving this forward. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing how many people we get to sign the pledge.
Thank you, Steffi. Hello again, Adam. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, definitely. Like kind of mimicking what Steffi says, it's a fantastic opportunity for everybody to put their hat in the ring and really kind of drive forward, make this change. It is a fantastic opportunity for everybody to make this change. And I can speak on behalf of all of the packages. We need as many businesses to sign this pledge as possible in order to hit the targets. Without you guys, it's not going to happen. So everybody's got to really focus on this change and really drive forward. The technology exists, it's possible. We just need to focus and really drive forward.
Thank you again, Steffi and Adam. We are now opening this pledge to the whole industry. We are launching the next phase and starting up the second round of donations. Anyone can donate any amount, and we're excited to open the contributions. Please click the button at the bottom of the screen to donate any amount. Actually, I'm being told that we have a donor calling in live to the show right now to show their support. It is Rebecca Casey from Transcontinental. Rebecca, thank you for calling in.
Hello, everyone. Really excited to be here and to be pledging today. My name is Rebecca Casey. I am the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Strategy for TC Transcontinental Packaging. We are a packaging manufacturer with operations in the United States and in Canada, and we have a network of 28 production plants, 5 of them dedicated to the pet food industry. We're very happy to be with you and to support this plastic pledge. TC has years of experience in the pet industry, and we've been working hard over the past years to develop a recyclable structure as well as compostable for our customers. This pledge is also in direct alignment with our Ellen MacArthur commitment that we signed in 2019. We really believe plastic has a place in the environment and the economy. It has just been misused by individual goals instead of this type of united and collaborative approach. We believe that collaborative solutions is the key to address the sustainability challenges of the industry. So let's find solutions together. I'd like to thank PSC for this opportunity and their initiatives, which allow all of us to build the bridges that will forge one community with one purpose to keep our planet healthy. Thank you.
Okay. I've also been told that Morris Packaging has made a donation of $5,000 to the pledge, so a big thank you to them as well. I'd like to point out now that on your screen, you will see 2 buttons. One is to donate to the packaging pledge. The other is to book a meeting with our sustainable packaging specialist, Rachel Sears, where you can learn more about the pledge. Please click on one or both buttons. The planet, our pets, and all of us actually need your support. And on behalf of everyone at the Pet Sustainability Coalition, we would like to say thank you for joining us today. Cheers to your support and making this program a goal of reality, and moving the needle to sustainability in packaging in the pet industry moving forward.
To a more sustainable future for packaging in the pet industry.
Cheers!